The Porsche 911 is definitely a special car. Porsche has spent over a half a century dialing in every component to make it as perfect as possible. But today, none of that matters. Today, I choose looks. Alright, so if you haven't guessed already, we're lowering the 911 to get rid of those awful gaps. We will be installing H&R's adjustable lowering springs. I chose the adjustable springs just so I can have that reassurance that I can get the perfect fitment on the car. I'm going to attempt to complete this job in less than 2 hours. So I'm going to set my timer here, click start, and let's see how long it takes. Now before we get started, we're going to disconnect the battery, which is located in the front of the car. Then we're going to fold up the carpet in behind the seats. You have to pull in the middle and it kind of folds up on itself. There's nothing else holding it in place, so once you get that, it should be good to go. Then you're going to see a styrofoam encasing. It will take a little bit of finessing, but be patient and it should come out with no problem. All right, so I've done the other side, and let's just say it's not going to take 2 hours. For this, it's going to take a lot longer. At least for me it did. So I'm already up to about 3-4 hours. So I failed the challenge of 2 hours. But anyway, I'm going to show now doing the passenger side, the rear, and the front. With the 3 bolts removed from the top and the upper and lower control arms disconnected, the strut tower is ready to drop down and come out. There you have it. All right. Let's get the spring off swap. So I tried this for the first time. They always say you need to compress the spring, then take that off. Didn't have to do that. There was literally nothing, and it saved me a lot of time. All right, let's take this back to the bench. So we're gonna take this off. There you go. Lock these back. All right, one thing that I think I'm going to do on this side that I didn't do on the other side is measure before I put it together. So on the other side, I have this at 11.5 or 10.5. At this point, I'm thinking we're on the easy side of this job. I've done the driver's side already, and I've met all the obstacles, learned all the things that I needed to learn to make this go a lot faster. With my 2-hour challenge out the way, I was at a point where I could just think about doing the job and finishing it up. Thinking nothing beats the satisfaction of doing something like this on your own. However, that wasn't the plan for the rear assembly on the driver or the passenger side. I was met with much resistance trying to get this strut into these tight spaces while not breaking anything. But at this moment, the strut was winning. This is the moment where you feel like I should have never started this. But we're here. So after taking a moment and a deep breath, I was able to get it in and we can move on to the front. So as you can see, it is daylight. This is day 3 of me installing these springs. Now, it's not really because it's difficult, it's just a matter of figuring it out. First time doing it, so it's usually gonna take the longest. Passenger side is going a lot faster than the driver's side, but the 2 hours, that's a wrap. So I'm probably at 6 hours at this point. But let's finish it up, and then we can start dialing in the height adjustment. So at this point, I'm pretty exhausted, and I just want this job done. All we have to do now is reconnect everything, the upper and lower control arms, and adjust the height, put the wheel back on. Then we can move to the front passenger side, where the job is a lot easier, so it should go pretty fast and we can finish on a high note. Alright, for the front strut, there's going to be a drop link that you need to remove. It uses a 18 millimeter nut. Just take that off and then you pull that out. That allows for the whole assembly to drop down. So as far as down below, that's it for the front struts. A lot easier than the rear struts. So let's go up top. So you can put that on first, then you can stick this through there. And then a socket connects up there. Then a ratchet wrench connects up here. So one is to hold it while one is to turn it. So I got this special tool to take off struts. It seems to work. I'll have the link in the description down below. Alright, down below you can see that the spring has decompressed and the top has come down. So after a little bit of elbow grease, I finally got the top hat off and I was able to just pull the spring from the top, and then you can pull the strut out from the bottom. Bungee cord. Alright, that holds it up. Ta-da! Alright, with that off, now you can just take that straight off. So this is replaced by this. Unlike the rear, the front perch just slides all the way down and is locked in with a little notch that's on the strut. Spring. With the spring installed and the strut reassembled, my next obstacle was trying to get it back in without scratching the paint. So my last and final hurdle was dialing in the right height so I can match the other side. Once dialed, all was left was to screw in the locking pins. And now it was the moment of truth. Did I go too low, or was it still high? After 3 days of ups and downs, learning new things, I must say it was worth it. And to me, the ride height looks perfect. There's the front. Not too bad. One finger, I went an inch down in there from 15 to 14. The rear, The rear is a little higher, about 2 fingers. Thinking it's gonna settle, probably both will settle, but I went from 16 to 15 in the rear, both sides. So there you have it. It is definitely a doable job, but it is time consuming. It took me about 9, almost 10 hours to do. So if you have that time to spare, do it. If you don't, get someone to do it, but I always like to do it myself. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe. Until next time, I'm out.